So I can either use your name if you like, or I can not use your name. That's also an option. I've had only one other person who's decided not to use their name, because anybody can look up anybody that goes into Google and types in Daniel Rathbun.
I feel like I've ruined my reputation already on Facebook. So
fantastic. That's great. See, I like hearing that. And there's no ruin your reputation. It's better to me to have a reputation of saying whatever's on your mind, Mr. Daniel Rathbun. A little closer into the mic, buddy. It's a big black cock, and you really want to deep throat it. That's pretty much what's going on with the microphone situation. That's why one of the things that's great about these mics is they're really good about not picking up the ambient noise. The bad thing about these mics is you really have to stick them into the back of your fucking throat.
Gotcha.
But they're really good. I enjoy them. Got a little spit guard on there. We keep everything nice and hygienic for you. I don't wash them.
But anyway, it's so tasty.
So the name of the game is podcasting. This is my cousin Daniel. I've known him since as far back as I can remember. And he is going to be the guest of honor on the next show with me and Jess. We're going to have Daniel on, and we're going to see where that takes us.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well. So what's good, man? What were you saying about right before I got into this spiel? That's one problem with the shows. You can't. It's difficult to get back into places. But what's good about it, doing it this way, is I can edit everything in post.
Right. It's just I've realized I need to stop drinking alcohol because it's just not when you don't realize where you've been for half an hour and then the next day you feel like total complete shit. And
yeah.
Like I was walking around yesterday at work. I don't think anyone realized that I was probably still a little drunk, but it was weird because I was like, I'm doing things. I'm doing my job. That was the thing, is what bothered me so much, is I'm like, I'm doing my job. I still feel shitty. I'm not controlling this. What?
You're on autopilot.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was, I don't know. That kind of freaked me out a bit, and I don't know. I'm just...
No, I get it. So you said something about an ego death. What do you mean? What did it feel like?
I'm just I'm just saying that I didn't have any. I felt like I didn't have any actual control over my body, and I don't know if that's what you consider that to be.
Not really. Ego death is more. God, how do I describe it? That's a problem with psychedelics, is trying to use words. They don't seem to capture really the idea. But so the ego death is there is no you. Even trying to think of yourself as your own separate entity. So in saying for instance, that you felt like you didn't have any control, you were sort of on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
So in saying that, there's still a you. Ego death is experiencing no you. So it's experiencing you completely gone. No name, no nothing, no anything that is you. So
it wipes your memories almost.
Kind of. You still have memories. It's more it's more like you've died, is what it feels like. It feels like your body is gone. No one knows who you are, and you were just sort of this watcher in the universe, watching everything swirl around you. It's an interesting feeling because it helps you to, I guess. All right, so I guess in everyday life we tend to try and process everything that's coming in at us.
Yeah.
With ego death, you stop that processing.
Hmm.
You just sort of are aware of everything.
So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, probably too many to count.
That's fine.
That's my go-to source of information / what I do in my free time. I don't like watching TV. It's just boring as fuck.
I probably watch about the same amount of YouTube that I do TV. If not, maybe slightly more YouTube.
Most of the crap that my mom watches is fucking awful. Well, she watches, what's the name of that stupid show that comes on PBS? Downton Abbey.
Oh God, you gotta love some Downton Abbey, man.
Oh man, look, I'll tell you what. I liked it. I sat down and watched one episode, and I thought it was all right. It's like Game of Thrones without the killing, I guess. It's a bunch of people just fucking sitting around talking. I hate shows where people just sit around talking.
Sometimes, look, we're doing a show where people are sitting around talking,
Well, no,
and you listen to podcasts. You know that there is some value in it. It's what they're talking about.
I know, but I like being in action. I like to be in movement. You know, makes you realize you're alive, kind of thing. So
yeah, I get it. You would rather something have a purpose instead of just silly made up nonsense.
I'm sure everything doesn't have a purpose.
Most things don't have a purpose.
Again, before I got on that I digress. I've been watching Sam Harris. I'm sure you know who that is.
Yeah.
And he has this like beautiful spiel. Well, he just does this hour and a half long talk about how there is no free will. We're all just kind of like fucking monkeys.
Yeah.
Just walk around,
monkeys.
and we walk around and we think that we're just like the shit. We're like, compared to animals, we are, massive amounts. Actually,
yeah, we like to think that we're so far and above everything, but look at chimps. They're very, very similar to us,
right?
And we're not that much different. There was a paper I was reading. It was something about how the chimps are in their Stone Age at the moment, because they've been seen like making stone tools and stuff like that. So
really?
It's like, yeah. So it's like, wow. Well, we aren't that far away. Like we're just dumb monkeys, really.
Right.
And also, I love the idea that we don't exist in now. Like our actual experience is somewhat in the future, because all of our senses, everything that we take in, and how we process the world it's on a lag. There's a delay.
Right.
So when we look at that, then our real self is actually in the future, and it's just providing us evidence through our senses of what we experience. And also, our brain is really, really good at making things up, especially invisible perception and all that kind of good stuff, because all this is just electrical signals in our head, and our brain's good at manipulating those.
Right.
And that's where we really are, but we can't operate on that level. We operate behind that just a little bit, where we react to all of these things that are being presented to us through our senses.
Right. And he was just talking about that, so I don't know. It was really awesome to watch, and I listen to him. I love watching Matt Dillahunty. I'm sure you know who that is.
Yep.
But that's what I do at work. I just sit there and watch.
Like everyone on the face of the planet.
Which isn't probably a pretty bad idea, because I'm pretty sure my bosses are both crazy ass Christians.
Well, I work for a bunch of crazy ass Christians, so I feel you. And if any one of them were to listen to this show, I'm sure they would. I don't know about fired, but there would definitely be some meetings.
Well, I hope that they, if they did, you would press charges, because that's.
Oh, totally. 150,000%. They would set me up to where, in reality, I wouldn't have to, wait for funding and everything like that. They would give me at least a couple of years of production time without me having to do any work.
Right.
Like I would do just this for at least a couple of years. That's how much that would benefit me. So if they do listen and they do want to take some sort of legal action or anything like that, I'm totally down for that. Because this is really what I want to be doing.
Right.
Sitting there playing behind a computer all day for 8 hours a day is not my idea of a good life.
Well, then also, so like when you realize that, like that, for example, you realize you're just a bunch of fucking monkeys walking around. Nobody really has the right to judge anything at all.
You're right. It kind of takes the piss out of everything.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of like, yeah, but fuck you. I don't care who you are or how much money you make. You know absolutely no more about the universe than I do.
Correct. You are not God just because you think you are.
Right. Just because you have some money and a bunch of people listen to you, I don't give a fuck. Like if your ideas are good, sure, I'm going to stand behind them. But yeah, if you're Mr. Trump, sorry, Mr. Trump, you can die in a fire.
God.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. We're taking the world's IQ test right now, and we're all failing. Everyone is laughing at America. It's sad. It's sad and disappointing.
I'm hoping that, there's a part of me that likes Trump, actually, and I know you're gonna give me shit about this.
I'm not gonna give you shit about it. Well, why do you like Trump? There are some aspects of him that are appealing.
The only thing that I like about him is that he doesn't pull punches when he says where the fuck he wants.
Right. He seems like he's
confident.
He's sincere in what he says.
Oh yeah.
And he's also confident. Exactly.
Right.
And I think that is something that we lack in politicians, and something that we really want in a politician.
Yes.
However, I just don't think sure, he's honest and straightforward about it, but that's the scary thing, is that he probably really feels this way. You don't want this motherfucker as your president.
So yeah, like I went to the St. Patty's Day parade. I think that's what the one this past week.
I would have liked to have gone, but fucking crippled now.
Well, you shouldn't be trying to drive through cars. That's all.
I wasn't driving. Well, all right. She got in my way, and I just wanted to politely nudge her out of the way at 50 miles an hour with the front of my motorcycle tire.
You're kind of there's a mat in there. Never mind. Just forget about that. just pretend like you're a Shadow Cat, and you can just phase through things.
Yeah, exactly.
So that way the bike would just die
instead
of you.
That's been a challenge of mine in recent life, is trying to stay connected to things I used to enjoy, like D&D, Magic, and video games and all that stuff. It seems to more and more lose flavor. Like, it's good. I really enjoy it, but I can only enjoy it for very brief intervals of time. The more, I guess, the older I've gotten, the harder it is for that to engage me.
Yeah, me too, actually.
But you just keep doing it, because what else are you going to do?
So, like, I played War Machine for a real long time.
As did I. I just gave away all my miniatures.
I gave away everything. I'm not getting back into that shit.
No.
Because I can't even believe
it sucks up money. It sucks up time. And yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable for a while. But,
right.
I mean, I just can't. I can't justify it anymore.
Can't do it anymore. So I was just, and I took what I had left. I brought it to the shop and just handed it over. I said, "Hey, this is for y'all. Bye." Mm-hmm. So, plus I won't be able to really do it much once I get out on the road and start driving around and stuff.
Oh, that's true. You're in school to be a truck driver.
Yes. That
sounds like a really fulfilling job.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for. I don't know. It was a while back, and I was just like, man, what do I want to do with my life? What I want to do. I'd like to travel around, because I have never left Louisiana ever, really, except for that one time I went to St. Louis, which was fun.
That was fun. No, you came and stayed with me in Texas for a little while that summer.
Yeah, I don't remember that too much of that, other than like almost get into a fist fight with you.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was over a girl.
And I don't even like that girl. Fuck that girl.
I know. She's fucking retarded. Anyway, that was a very retarded time in our lives. We were very young. But also in so in traveling, like, I was going somewhere. That completely will be edited out. Damn.
You like traveling?
I do enjoy traveling. I really do enjoy traveling.
You said that something about...
I don't know.
Fulfilling. I mean,
yes, fulfilling. Being
right.
fulfilled. That is a very fulfilling... or it seems like it'd be a very fulfilling thing to do. If not fulfilling, at least different. Like, you get to, instead of staring at a computer screen all day, I mean, at least your desktop is a dashboard, and your computer screen is never changing scenery as you're driving around the country. I mean, experiencing different people and places, and it's got to be interesting at the very least.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Just want to kind of, fucking see something before I die.
I get it. I totally get it.
So, what else was there? Oh, my brain's dying too.
I know, man. It happens to the best of us. All right, that's what it was. I remember what it was. So as we've gotten older, do you not feel that, is it not difficult to remember earlier ages? Like, it's really difficult for me to remember, like, I'd say from anywhere from 6, no, like even before then, but 6, I think is probably 5 or 6 about my earliest memory, but I only have like 1 or 2, and but like even up to like, there's a good chunk of time that I just can't. I don't know what the fuck happened. I just don't remember that time.
I read somewhere that your brain puts memories into your head that you can keep and really hold on to, but you have to have emotions tied to them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they come in and then they're shoveled out. You ever seen? Did you ever see Inside Out?
Yeah, I loved Inside Out.
That was a
brilliant movie. And for a kids movie, I loved that fucking movie. Like, most of them are okay, but that was a really, really good movie.
So actually, apparently, they even use that movie for like helping people with brain damage and shit
understand.
Like, yeah, like, and it's apparently they're using it for therapy. That
makes sense.
Disney movie, Pixie Mar. This damn Disney
Pixie
movie.
Mar movie, everyone. I love Pixie Mar. But yeah, all right, so I loved it because it taught my kids, like, this is how things work in your head. Like, it gives them some sort of insight into themselves, and I think that's something that children have difficulty with, is understanding their place. Or not necessarily their place, but understanding anyone's place in the universe, and that you are made up of these emotions, and they're balanced, and that some will take charge and while others won't. And it's about I don't know, I think it's about being a better person, really. I think ultimately that it teaches children a very good lesson, something that's true and valuable in the world, and less so much, friendship is good. Like, it seems to have an intelligent message behind the, flashy colors and everything.
I've never watched the Ponies show.
Ponies?
Ponies.
Oh, thank God. If you ever become a brony, I will have to smack the shit out of you. I'm sorry.
You can only say that when Jess isn't around.
I love Jess to death.
That's right,
I love Jess.
Thrown right under the bus.
I love you, buddy. I love Jess to the end of the earth. Do I love Jess? However, brony, like My Little Pony, is not something I get into. It's not something for me.
It's a pretty good show. Like, I watched a couple episodes. It's
all right, brony.
No, it's like, okay, it's like saying the Powerpuff Girls was a pretty good show back in the day.
Okay, yeah, I watched some Powerpuff Girls. I remember that shit.
But to say that I wanted to sit down and watch it all, like, no.
Right. Well, I did. They did a cameo of, like, the dude, like the Big Lebowski. Like, they did Walter, Donnie, and of course the dude.
Have you seen Zootopia?
No.
There's a yak in the movie. I'm sure you've seen the trailers. He's in the trailers. There's a yak in it. He's just like fucking zenned out and shit when they walk into like this club, and they're like trying to find this bit of evidence or whatever because she's a cop. Mm-hmm. And he's like walking around. He's like, "Yeah, man, we're a naturalist club," and they're like all walking around without clothes off because they're animals. But it's like watching a bunch of animals walk around, right? So it's not that big of a deal. But he's just like, I can't remember where we saw this person. And then he like walks out to the elephant. He's just like, the elephant will know because she always remembers. And he goes out there and he starts talking to her. Do you remember this guy? And she said, nope. He goes, well, it was like and then he just starts spieling out all this information out of nowhere. And the rabbit's trying to take notes down. And she realizes the elephant doesn't know shit, and he actually remembers everything that happened. So she just starts taking notes from him, and it just reminded them of like the Big Lebowski. He has a yak, and he's like got stuff all on his hair and shit. He just looks like
he just has no fucks.
Where did the hell?
That seems to be, I guess, the biggest thing that I've learned from psychedelic experience is that you don't have to give it any fucks. None of it matters.
And that's what. And I think that's what makes you happy.
Oh yeah, I think that's where happiness comes from, is letting go. Just letting go of all the fucks you had. Just let it go. Like, bad shit's gonna happen. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. We're in a constant series of changes that we just sort of shift between. You can try and steer in a direction you want to go, but for the most part,
yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff here, like on planet Earth doesn't change. But shit, if you was
it can.
How many volcanoes are exploding around us?
Well, no, I meant like not every day, but that's some theorize that's what spawned on our evolution, is the a whole bunch of changes rapid fire, like volcanoes and everything like that, and we also had the Ice Age and all that kind of good stuff. So these rapid fluctuations in temperature and climate, and all of these changes that we went through as a species, is what ultimately helped to evolve us. There's also other theories that it was when the monkeys came down from the trees to look under cow patties for bugs, they ate a lot of psychedelic mushrooms, and that's where we got our intelligence. That's also a theory, folks.
I think that maybe that's where the ego came from. Even
I think the ego it's spawned out of monkey brain. It's just what we get when we're so focused on individual aspects of our life, like, oh, we've got to get money to get a house, just because that's the way it goes about. Or we've got to get money because money buys us things and things makes us happy, right? That's monkey brain. It's monkey brain talking. You need money. Yes, it's important to have. Yeah. But to have, gobs and gobs of money to buy a huge house and six cars.
To be Trump, essentially.
Yeah. You don't, that doesn't bring you anything.
Right.
Like, there's a certain degree at which the money's ability to buy your happiness stops. And I don't think that, I don't know, there's a point to that too.
So, like, for a long time, I was kind of upset because I haven't dated anybody in 10 years.
Yeah.
I was just kind of depressed about it. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I thought, maybe if I get a girlfriend, I'll be happy. Well, and that made life worse.
Here's kind of what I want. Yeah, that definitely does make it worse.
And then, you become depressed. Yes, you become sad. You
were hanging on to the idea of what a girlfriend would bring you, and also in doing so, in that moment, if you would have gotten a girlfriend, not saying that you didn't, but if you would have gotten a girl, the problem is that sort of damage or that sort of baggage that you would have carried with you would have ruined that relationship, because it wouldn't have added up to everything that's in your head.
Right.
Because other people don't bring you happiness.
Right. And when I realized that was when I was like, wow, I don't even have to get married.
Yeah, it's difficult enough even living with anybody. Like, everybody is difficult to live with.
Yeah.
I've got a wife and 2 kids, and some days it's the hardest fucking thing to do. But we got kids. I'd like to see less shitheads in the world, so why not make some of my own that aren't shitheads?
I think everyone has a little shithead in them.
Oh yeah, we all do. But I think it's important to take active steps in your own evolution as a person.
I would like to take active steps in evolving the human race to some extent. Maybe.
Well, how do you think that starts?
Having kids.
So do you think it starts in having kids, or do you think you can take steps to evolve yourself as a person, and then maybe through that, along the way, the people that you meet and the further down the path that you go, the more people that could sort of feed off of that and see you as an inspiration for how the world could be, or how a person could be.
So I read another article. See, this is what I'm talking about. I just read articles.
That's fun. I do the same. I spend a lot of time online. That's why I wanted to start a podcast, is because I ingest a lot of interesting shit online.
Yeah.
And I enjoy talking about it. I love comment sections. There's a place I live.
I hate the comment sections. I love the articles, but I hate the comment sections.
Some of them are comedy gold. You have to look at it with absolutely no fuck. So you get upset. They're like, oh God, these people exist. They do exist, and they're hilarious.
There are people that actually give fucks.
Yes.
Like my bosses.
Yeah, so that's what blows me away. So I guess a troubling thing that I've come up with is I think I might be a socialist.
You are already living in a socialist.
Oh, I know we already live in a socialist state. Like the United States itself does have lots of socialist tendencies, and everything that most people, if you talk to them about why they love America, the things they mention are socialist. Like, I love the fact that we pay for our less fortunate citizens to get health care or to get food. Like, those are good things, right?
Right.
Those are generally good ideas.
Yeah.
Those things are socialist.
Right.
And my problem is in thinking about what government is, what is its purpose and how it should be going. Like,
it's to help
what it should
people.
be doing. It's to help people, right?
It's
to make everybody's life a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
and to run and to protect us and be there, to help us be productive. It's like a hive mind. It's like you're.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're serving a queen, sort of, and I don't really like that term.
Ultimately, I think
that's more monarchy, and nobody likes monarchy.
Its ultimate altruistic goal is to make people's lives better, right?
Right.
So why is socialism bad? Why is the government taking care of its people bad? Because it doesn't work. Because it's not money efficient. Why does money matter? Why does that? Why does money matter for anything? It's just a little green pieces of paper that we tend to pass around between people. Why does that? That doesn't mean anything. Who came up with that idea? That's a stupid idea. Let's do something different. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just a dumb monkey myself. I mean, I don't know, but I can't think of any other reason or anything as to why it has to be this way.
I think that what was I trying to say?
Aren't podcasts great?
Yeah.
Editing and post is also great, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Hopefully you can edit all this crap out.
Dude, I am a fucking... I love editing. It's so much fun.
So you're telling me there's more to that Jess podcast that I didn't see?
Well, actually, no. The Jess one's... It depends on the flow, how the conversation goes, because sometimes they flow really well, and sometimes they don't flow so well. And it's fine either way. It's like me and you haven't talked in a while. We're as humans, we tend to put up barriers between ourselves and the world. It helps kind of keep us psychically safe from feeling bad emotions and shit like that. It's a defense mechanism. Everybody does it. Everybody has some level of it. We do it even between friends and people that we know. And in not seeing someone for a while, those start to creep up. And then every time you see them and reconnect with that person, those barriers sort of smash down. So in me not having spoke with you in a while, that's sort of there. So the beginning of the podcast does take a little bit of lubrication to get going. Forgive the sexual innuendo if it was not intended.
What?
But
I love sexual innuendo. It's great.
It is great. So the world is a fun place. The things that bring you joy and happiness, great, do them. Unless it's like eating babies or something. Don't do that shit. You're not hurting anyone. Go and be joyous and do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or
well, that was. I'm sorry. That was one topic I wanted to get into with you. Is do you think your unfortunate set of circumstances that have, I guess, in dealing with females, do you think that has harbored any sort of negative emotion or negative feedback loop, maybe a defense mechanism even, toward members of the opposite sex? Because you've basically been trained through your life as that's where the negative emotions come from. Like every time I try to demonstrate courage or compassion, even to try and reach out to these particular females for some sort of connection, and constantly getting rebuffed, do you think that's harbored any sort of invisible emotional protection that you've put up that has just tried to protect you from that negative emotion?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad that you're capable of seeing that.
I'll tell you what. Working with a bunch of women for a year can help with that.
I'm sure it can.
Because
really
they, for a long time, I didn't even know I was upset or mad or sad or depressed or anything like that. And then when I came, as I started to come into work, they were like, why is he so fucking pissed off every damn day? They didn't understand it. So they put up a little sticker on the door where I usually sit, and it just has happy face, sad face, grumpy face. And they're like, which one are you feeling today?
There's one of those in my kid's room.
And I just could not understand it. I was like,
it's okay.
Why
my
do they
therapist
keep doing
gave me
this?
one. My therapist gave me one. Apparently, it's supposed to help you identify your own emotions, because a lot of times we hide from them. It's something I was doing.
Yeah.
I was very seriously hiding from my emotions and how I felt about things for fear of what the change in my life that might bring about.
I think you also getting out away from influential people like your parents,
yes,
can extremely help that.
It depends, though. You could have cool parents.
My parents are not cool.
No.
I love them. They're not cool.
Right. I get it. I get it.
Speaking of my parents, so a couple days ago, my dad was watching some Trump stuff,
Please tell me he's a supporter.
He might be.
Okay.
It's hard to know.
You tend to avoid, with my family, you want to avoid two topics, politics and religion.
Right.
Avoid them like the plague, or you will have a bad time.
We were sitting around in the living room, we were sitting around in the living room, and he said something about Trump is, such and such, and we're not going to support Bernie Sanders because he's a socialist.
Yeah, because that's bad.
And then my brother looked at him, he's like, Dad, the police exist and they're a socialist organization, right? What? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, our roads,
right?
Schools,
Hey,
socialist organizations. We should probably invest in those.
No, burn them all to the ground, put up the cross.
They're socialist.
And it's time.
Damn it, Jesus is coming back, y'all.
They said he was coming back last week.
Look, he had some shit he needed to take care of up there in heaven. He can be back next week.
Oh. And I've been also watching a lot of Dark Matter 2525. You ever seen that guy? No. He does little cartoons.
Oh, yes. Yes, okay, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Did you ever see the Samson?
I don't watch him regularly.
Did you ever see the Samson and Delilah one?
No.
Okay. And this might as well. So you got Arnold and It's not actually Arnold.
So let me tell you a plan I have for the podcast. Eventually, I'm going to have a TriCaster, and in my studio that I'm going to build, I'm going to have a big screen up there. So every time we have talks like this and bring up this movie, we can push that video into our live stream of the podcast, and we can also push it up on the screen. So in the studio, we can watch whatever the hell's going on.
That's cool.
Ideas?
That's awesome.
Tell me that's cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, they're fucking expensive, folks. You got to help support the fucking channel. I got a donate button. I got a Patreon thing set up. Give me $1. Come on, man. Give me a fucking $1.
Shameless plugs.
Yeah, shameless plugs, motherfucker. I want to do this for a living. I don't want to sit behind the goddamn computer for the rest of my life. I'm okay with it as long as I'm doing something like this.
Why do we have to raise you up? Who are you?
Look, I want to be. Here's my idea. I want to be an aggregate of information. If you like what this show brings you, if you like the ideas and the thoughts, and you enjoy listening, I want to hear from the people. I don't want to just be some blank figurehead that a bunch of people support. I want to actually have a community that I interact with, and in building a community, you have to start somewhere,
right?
And if
I don't know that I'd want to be around the community down here, though.
Really?
These people.
Look, so here's...
Sometimes I can wake up in the morning and look around Louisiana and just go, God, I wish we could just cut y'all off and drop you into the sea.
Well, I think that...
Of course, then I would lose you, and I don't want that.
That's a problem here, is that I think we can make this a cool place. We can make any place a cool place.
Yeah.
You just have to not be able, or you have to be able to look the Bible thumping loonies in the face and tell them you disagree.
It's true, but religion fucks your brain up. Yeah, I'm convinced.
Oh man, years to this day, there are still issues that were instilled in me from being raised in a strictly religious household that I'm still trying to get over today.
Yeah.
It really does your head in.
It makes you, and that's why I'm convinced my dad will just randomly say strange things at strange times, and he sometimes reminds me of how I kind of felt a long time ago before I realized
it's like a mental fog, really. And it is a process of coming out. It slowly starts to get clearer and clearer as you sort of pull yourself out of all this nonsense that you were raised with.
Right. So you think religion makes you think that there is someone watching you like fucking Santa Claus, and
Jesus watches you masturbate, everyone.
See,
Jesus is a fucking pervert.
Would you ever go and try to be courageous or do anything outside if you
no.
if you knew that someone was watching you at all points of time?
No, fuck you.
Writing down, keeping track of what you're doing.
Yeah, fuck that.
See,
I'm minding my P's and Q's. I'm gonna sit there like a good little boy. I mean,
it makes you fucking paranoid.
It also makes you guilty.
Also,
for anything that you do naturally out of human, just our condition, the chemical needs and everything that we have are built into our system.
It'll make you feel guilty for being.
It makes you guilty about just being human.
Yeah, and it's awful.
It's very awful, especially to raised like that. Like that
Yeah.
voice in your head that's constantly beating you down about being this shitty human being because you checked out a girl's
Like
ass
tits.
or something. Yeah. Oh, boobs are great. I masturbated today, and that's a problem, apparently, to the invisible man in the sky.
Yeah, no.
It's a ridiculous shit. Like, and all right, so even that, but then there are more moderate people that are, they don't see things in the extreme view like that, but our family does.
Yeah.
They really believe some odd shit.
Memo will.
Oh, she's been on to me. Like I haven't seen her in. I've probably not seen her in like 2 years, and then I saw her once, and the first thing, I hope y'all are going to church. No, none of us are going to church because we don't like church. It's Sunday, and we've got better things to do. I'm sorry. We went to LIGO, which is the place that just observed like
the gravitational waves.
We went there.
Wow.
Like, that's the kind of shit we did. And we toured their facility and, like, looked at their control center. And they have, like...
Did you see the laser?
No, you can't actually go into the tunnels because I think it's a sterile environment.
I guess that's...
Yeah, but, you can see the tunnels and they have, like, some of the apparatus, some of the older apparatus, like when they were trying to figure out how to stabilize the lens against, like, earthquakes on the other side of the planet. Because that's how sensitive this thing is. They showed some of the apparatus and how they were going to build it and how they were going to build bigger reflectors and how they're going to build the next set of detectors. And basically the whole idea behind that discovery is that we can stretch and condense gravity, which is effectively space. So we can stretch and condense space-time. And the whole idea behind interstellar levels of travel is going to be I'm pretty sure, based on that technology.
Right.
Being able to, just compress or expand space at the front of the back of the ship. Like, you should be able to travel insanely fast.
I like the, my favorite, so I watched another video, was it a PBS or Discovery or something?
I like Minute Physics and those guys.
Yeah. There was they were talking about different types of ships we could have if we were to go into space and try to...
Well, there are plans already. There are a few different countries that have made plans for like interstellar ships.
My favorite one had to be there's like a sail, and it catches all the solar lights.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
And then it like pulls you, or it powers it. The energy you're getting from the solar running back into your engine to power you through space.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a renewable energy.
But I'm sure, I've seen the concept of the solar sail as well. It also captures that, because there is a wave of particles that the sun blows out, which is the thing our atmosphere and gravitational shell, I think, protects our atmosphere and protects us from those particles. But you can capture those particles in a sail and sail in space.
Right. So I thought that was really cool.
But the problem with that, I think it's too slow.
Also, it can't stop or something like that.
Makes sense.
There's something about where it's hard to stop it.
Well, even if you could stop it, how would you get it going again? It probably takes forever to get up to speed.
Maybe so. I don't
know. Did you see the thing they did with fusion in Germany?
How are they getting it started?
Yeah, that's fascinating.
That is awesome.
That's really cool. Come on, infinite free energy? I think so. How cheap would energy be? And if energy's cheap, what else is
what do we need money for?
Yeah, exactly.
Food, I guess.
Maybe, but if everybody, I think we've all agreed that's sort
but
of
even
right.
then,
that's something everybody wants. Everybody wants food, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking like even if we had constant energy, eventually it would get down to the point where you really wouldn't need money, because that is all
right.
Money is based off of is energy,
pretty much. So what do you need money for? So if you have a basic set of human rights, a basic set of ideas about
a socialist government,
everybody needs food, everybody needs a roof over their head, clothes, all that kind of good stuff, and you don't really have to work, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but you have to contribute somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, so for for your contributions, you could be rewarded. So I'm saying, like, if the government took care of everything for everyone, there are Actually, two places. I think there's a place in Canada now, and also a place in Switzerland that are trying this. They're paying people enough to cover their housing expenses, food, groceries, bills, and stuff like that, and just trying to see what they do on their own. What do they produce? So I think that all right. So in me wanting to do this show, do you think I'm going to do a better job doing the show or a better job at work doing my job that I'm paid to do?
Well, that's easy.
That I'm miserable at.
You would do better at this.
Exactly. It's incentive. So basically, given money is not an equation, what would people produce? Is that more valuable than what we produce today? Especially if they're in the way. But the way you can get to that point is making things so cheap to the point where power is just going to be meaningless. It's going to be nothing.
So people will still be jealous, and they'll want to fucking keep up with the Joneses, and they'll get butthurt. And I'm not saying that.
Sure, that drives it, but I mean, it takes the energy that's put into business that is used for creating pollution and that profit margin, that hard driven profit margin. It takes it away because nobody has to have a job anymore.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure
with
people
robotics and AI. Come on,
people will still end up doing something.
Of course. Tell me you're going to sit around all day.
I might.
All right. Well, look, if you're looking at virtual reality shit.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the virtual reality shit, wait until you can plug that shit into your head.
Yeah.
How long are you going to sit there then, motherfucker, when you can spend the rest of your life as the great fucking warrior of the fantasy novels that you read throughout your life?
I'm going to be honest. Once they figure out how to upload our brains onto a computer...
Oh, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
I'm getting out of here.
Tell me how badass that'll be.
That would be awesome.
Or even being able to share minds with people. Like having an internet connection between me and having access in my head to humanity's collective knowledge.
They've done that.
Oh yes, they have. Oh, they've done a word,
sort of.
a single word communication that I've seen across the internet. So they are working on it. They're working on the technology.
So there was a guy who had a chip implanted in his arm.
Mm-hmm.
That was hooked. He has it to where when he walks into his business.
Yeah, it's an RFID. Yeah,
yeah, like the.
Well, Bill Gates used to have those on key tags at his house. Like you'd walk into each room, and the house would adjust itself based on your own personal settings. He could tell like what temperature he wanted his bath water from his car, like crazy stuff like that. But yeah, so I think you're talking about what are these guys called? Biohackers.
Yeah.
They're putting like magnets in the tips of their fingers to be able to feel magnetic fields and weird shit like that. Yeah, these are pretty crazy cats. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. Continue. So what happened with this guy? So
he had this chip hooked up into his arm, and apparently has an internet connection somehow. I forget.
Oh, cool.
And they tested it out to see if he could move like a robotic arm halfway across the United States.
Okay, I think that one, the only one I've seen like that was a monkey that they did.
This is like, dude.
Well, they did a monkey, and it was an electrode strip across his brain.
Okay.
And it was wired to the same control mechanisms he used for his arm. And basically, he was trained to put this game where there was a ring and a dot, and you had to basically this tube made of light, and so that he had to basically move this apparatus that would move the little dot into the ring.
Right.
Like that's what he was trained to do. And at a certain point, like he would move the apparatus. It was controlled both through the chips in his brain and also through this little mechanical object he could manipulate. Well, at a certain point, he figured out he didn't have to move his actual arm. He could just use his brain. So he took his hand away from the control and reached up and grabbed the little piece of plexiglass where the control arm is. And he just sits there, and the robotic arm in the cage is still moving around, like drawing the dot and still catching it. He's like, yeah, I got this, bitches. What?
Fucking monkeys are schooling us. God,
yeah,
damn it, we got to get rid of those people.
Well, there's other studies where they're trying to reproduce like people
they have hair on them.
People that are paralyzed to the point where they can't talk. They've been able to, or what they're trying to do with these people is basically tap into the centers of their brain that it works for language, and basically have a computer be able to. All they have to do is think words, and when they think those words, it says them on the screen. That's gonna be fucking cool. So basically what they're doing is rendering digitally of the speech center.
Right.
Our brain.
That's cool.
Yeah.
but like I said, he managed to make a robotic arm move. He also apparently he hooked his wife's arm up. She got the same thing done on the other arm, and they tried to send her brain signals to him, and he said he could feel in his arm.
See, that one I would have to read about, because how are they doing that? Are there neurons in your arm? How are you getting those signals? Like, how are you getting those signals here to know what's going on there? Like,
so I guess
I guess through nerves that would make sense, but it seems like it's a very complicated.
I guess so. Like your brain shoots down electrical pulses to your arm, and if that pulse was being sent to somebody else's arm, they would probably feel
transmit that, or they could transmit to another device that says, "Hey, you send out this electrical signal."
Right.
That makes sense.
So that was cool.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it was another one where they've done brain-to-brain communications, where they had a chip in one person's head and a chip in another person's head, and they sent a single word. I think it was some Spanish word. I forget what it was, but they sent a single word across the internet from one person's brain to another person's brain. So they picked up what the word was down the line, and the one was in like Maine or New York or somewhere like up North America, and one was like down in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
So imagine when we're plugged into each other's heads.
I don't know if I want to be in anybody else.
Well, you want to upload your consciousness, don't you?
I know. I'm just fucking.
So, what about the idea of simulation theory? That was an Australian guy I had on, and we talked about simulation theory. The idea that we've already done this, and what we're living now is the roaring 20s of the technological age, because it's an exciting time.
Yeah, they have said that the universe. There's another guy I watched. He said he found computer code in the physics groundwork.
Well, kind of. There's some weird things with numbers. Like, have you ever looked at a prime fractal? Mm-hmm. All right, so there's I forget the name of the chart or how it's drawn, but basically you start with the number 1 in the middle, and basically you go out in a grid pattern, and you put down all the numbers, right? Well, primes, if you just draw this, the bigger and bigger you get it, primes line up along these weird lines down this strange thing. So it's like, okay, well, why does that make any sense? There was this mathematician who was bored in some lecture, and
right.
He basically drew this big grid out, and he started coloring in all the prime numbers, and he realized, wait, this is kind of drawing something. So the farther and farther you go out, it's weird. You can start to see like these lines or something. Where the fuck does that come from?
What's also crazy about that is that that's how the brain is so fucking weird. It's just, you'll get an idea.
Yeah.
It just pops into your brain, and it's like
from the ether.
What where did this come from?
Right.
You know, it is the strangest fucking thing. And then you end up, like that guy, he ends up just drawing out this grid just for no reason. It's like, hey, I'm just going to do this today. Mm-hmm. And then discovery. Oh my God. You know, that is...
Right.
The brain is weird.
I don't know that it necessarily means anything, but I think the idea is that it's just reality is weird. Like, I like the idea of the multiverse theory. That there's, infinite series of universes and realities that are going on simultaneously. Some are remarkably similar to this. I like the idea that there's a universe in which everybody's achieved everything that they want, and their life goes perfectly and everything's great. And I think that that we can, there's like, we're going to travel between different dimensions and stuff like that. Well, if we exist in reality that is a series of these dimensions that already exist, we probably are already traveling through these dimensions. And the idea that what we're doing is we're steering our consciousness into those dimensions by the choices and decisions that we make through our life.
Well, what's cool, honestly, at the end of the day, is what you can just be like, hey.
But in the end, none of it fucking matters.
We
really don't know.
Yay!
But I don't claim to understand some of the high physics stuff, but in physics, we like string theories turning out to be very viable. Like finding particles that give things mass. The idea, I guess, that we exist in a simulation also makes sense. If you look at a TV screen, it's made up of tiny, tiny pixels. and those basically tiny pixels form a larger image. When we look at the universe, when we get down to its microscopic level, it's made up of tiny, tiny pixels, which are atoms, and those atoms are made up of even tinier pixels, and each one of those pixels gives reality some semblance of like mass comes from that subset of particles. And if you look at those particles and how they work, they pop in and out of existence as if from nowhere. And how one thing I've never understood is how is it that the building blocks that make up me, down to the atom level, are made up of building blocks that pop in and out of existence at random? How the fuck does that work?
Which also makes me curious about like computers. Mm-hmm. If a brain is nothing more than electrical currents going through your atoms that make up your brain, does that mean that computers have consciousness because we're just sending electrical currents through, like,
so I've got
atoms?
I've got an idea. I think consciousness is the ghost in the machine. It's when the machine is able to contemplate itself, like where it finds itself, right, given all of the evidence that it has. I think that is where the seat of consciousness is. It's the electrical impulse or the wave through our brain that we've sort of built pathways through with our neurons constantly reinforcing the everything that we do.
Right.
Really, I think that is the seat of consciousness. It's those pathways. So they don't exist anywhere where we can point to them and say, yes, this part of the brain, that's consciousness. I think it's this pattern that exists in this particular location. That's what makes us who we are.
Right.
And that can be easily represented digitally. Granted, it's a fuck ton of a big file, but why can't you represent that digitally? You can represent that anywhere.
That's what I thought was funny. Also, this just now came to me. So you've watched Game of Thrones, right?
Yep.
And you know the Boltons.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows the Boltons. Good. He cuts that guy's dick off.
He does. It's kind of a low blow, and then he takes it, puts it in a box, and sends it to the dude's dad.
Yeah. So, and I thought it was funny when me and Jess were all sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, like you what?" And I asked, "Why is this guy a giant asshole?" And Jess said, "Oh, he's a solipsist. He thinks he's the only one who actually exists in the universe." And I was like, "Okay, I get that.
Kind of makes sense."
But then, aren't we all solipsists?
I don't know. Well, here's another idea: is that the electrical signal that makes up all of us where we exist already is actually an imprint of even a larger thing. So our universe is
we are
just an idea.
We are consciousnesses sharing one larger consciousness.
Yes. That's also an idea. And so absolutely every person that you meet and every person that you talk to is you experiencing a completely different life at a completely different stage of development in a completely different timeline.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And it's a beautiful idea because it's something I've been more and more aware of since I've taken mushrooms. Psychedelics are a crazy thing. They bring you to some weird places. But in thinking about people like that, you sort of see them as a collection of their experiences and less of the asshole that's standing in front of you.
Right.
It makes accepting and being compassionate to people so much easier.
Yeah.
Because that was something I really struggled with up until the past 6 to 8 months, where I've really sort of caught that feeling.
Yeah. I think most people don't feel it until they're on their deathbed, unfortunately.
Well, I think people can definitely go through their entire lives without finding truth. So given credit where credit's due, my family is completely insane, but they did raise me. And all of their batshit led me to questioning everything.
Well,
it took me a while to get there.
Like I said, I love my parents. I love them. They did the best they could with what they had.
Of course, I don't blame my parents for anything. I get it. As a parent now, I especially get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's a weird place we find ourselves in, sir. The reality of now is
strange.
Insane.
I like I said, I can't get mad at them. I mean, maybe they do saying God exists is.
But I think I think it's the big religions. They're like fast food spirituality.
Yeah.
There's a broader understanding of the world, and a lot of it has to be in the spiritual world because we can't prove any of it.
Right.
But ultimately, it leads to a better life. Like,
if I just go through my life not thinking that some people are watching me as I take a jerk off or whatever.
But also, it builds more compassion in that you have a better understanding of where we really find ourselves and what truly the limits of what we know currently.
Yeah.
And it's really a nice place.
You heard about the guy who basically went into work one day and he was a completely sane, normal dude and just went in the next day and just shot like 6 people and then shot himself. So he ended up doing that, and they went in and found like his journals or whatever, and in the journals it said, I don't know why I'm acting this way all of a sudden. There's some weird shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy a couple days ago, and now I'm just fucking pissed off, and I just want to murder people. And he goes and does that. Turns out they went in and found a brain tumor. And it was apparently pushing up against his amygdala and just made him go batshit crazy.
Yeah.
So it's all up there in your head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everything's up.
Yeah. But also that's true. But I guess for psychedelics, they show you that that's not necessarily the case.
You mean like... What I mean, like... Okay, so I don't mean like that's all up in your head, but like you are an electrical...
Oh yeah, you're definitely that. You're saying that who you are can be corrupted in the physical world.
Yes.
I definitely agree. And I do think that when our brains go, most of us goes. But I think as a whole, the expression, the pattern, the wave, whatever it is that is life, I think that keeps rolling. But your individuality is completely gone. Memories, stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just nice to know you don't have to worry about that.
That's true. And pain completely goes away.
Well, I don't... You sort of.
No. I mean, in death, pain is completely gone.
Oh yeah, no. That's the thing. And then you get these people...
This world does get exhausting after a while, and eventually there might come a time where I want to check out. However, I would also like to fast forward like 100,000 years before I check out, just see what it's like.
What would be really cool is if we're like uploading our brains onto computers to upload our brains onto computers, which could...
Well, yeah, that's one of the crazy things that come out. That's one of the things that come about through the idea of simulation. Is that if it's possible to create a simulation of a entire universe within a computer, if our computing gets that powerful, if we're able to do that, do you not think that it would be created on our own physics and around everything that we know about the universe? So we would create that simulated universe, and how do we know that they wouldn't be capable of simulating a universe if we're absolutely simulating a universe? And so on and so forth ad infinitum. And we are just an expression somewhere along that chain of simulated realities.
Yep. It's fucking crazy.
Who the fuck knows? But yeah, man, that's kind of the weird places this show goes. What do you think?
Like it.
Yeah, I think it's valuable.
Yeah, I just wish the problem is the people that have already got preconceptions or presuppositions or whatever you want to call it, they're not even going to fucking listen. They'll say, "Oh, this is a socialist podcast. I'm not listening to that crap." And good. I don't want them on here. But that's making the world better, as we've just explained. Right. But I'm not even saying that it is making the world... Like, I think it's making the world better, because everything that I've looked at, that's what leads me to... If I'm wrong, I want people to tell me I'm wrong. Like, I want to hear why I'm wrong and give me a good reason, not, because Jesus Christ, he's going to come back and set all this right. You got to give me a real reason. Like if I'm mistaken for something
I look at and perceive some way like the government should take care of its people. That's kind of its idea what it should be doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, if we're not all the same, but we're mostly the same.
Yeah.
Though I can't, like, I'm not 100% on board with just as, mass, like, government control, just pushing out food and stuff to people. Because at the end of the day, we are still monkeys, and we do still have things like jealousy and
right, but
selfishness and
do you
things
think
like that.
Do you think with the rise of AI, we won't be able to offload those tasks?
Oh, well.
Eventually. So everybody right now is terrified of, like, AI taking over and, us creating, Terminator. So everybody's worried about that. But I think eventually when AI gets here and we're more comfortable interacting with it, it's just going to be a next step to where we'll be like, you know what? We don't even want to manage some aspects of this. Let's just turn it all here. It can access our memories. It knows what each and every single one of us wants. It's intelligent. And it can provide that for us in either a actual reality as far as we know it or simulated reality. It can take care of us, and essentially so we don't have to. But then again, that comes in the argument, how many times has that been done? Mm-hmm. And maybe we got so fucking bored after achieving everything that we wanted, we're like, fuck it, why not just go back? Or maybe, even stranger, maybe we are classmates. And in order to really, when we're done with this life, we come back and we are sitting on a couch after taking a bong rip, or sitting in, we birth into this pod and these things come out of our head like the Matrix. And we're like, okay, now you've grown as a person because you've lived 1,000 lives and matured and gotten to the point where you can live in our society.
So it sounds like the Buddha almost.
Yeah.
And he had, isn't that his philosophy? It's like you live through these lives multiple times until you hit enlightenment.
There are some schools of thought that are like that, yeah. I kind of like the idea. Yeah. Because as soon as you understand that the person you're talking to, yeah, they may be an asshole. They don't understand your circumstances, though, and you don't understand theirs.
Right.
They're probably just a product of their environment, or what they know about the world. It's their reality. This is how they see it.
Right.
And they just either A, haven't been presented with the evidence, or outright reject it because it's something that's dear to them, such as religion. Something that they hold on to from childhood because for some reason they think it makes them a better person. Statistically, it doesn't.
It's not.
I'm not saying that there aren't religions that has made some people's lives and some people better as people. But statistically, most people who are religious, if you look at the prison population, the vast majority of the prison population are people with religious views.
Seriously.
By a lot.
I can believe that.
Whereas if you look at the non-believing community, you find countries that are mostly non-believing being more successful, doing better. Right. You find a far greater number of scientists. You find a far greater number of educated people. I don't know.
I don't think enough people are doing drugs, personally.
I agree with that. I'm not even saying that there is no.
Because when you start to do them, and you're like, "Wow, wait a minute," that's when you like wake up. It's like, "Holy shit! I am not my body."
It helps you take inventory of reality. Right. It helps you take inventory of really where you're sitting, right, and understanding where you are. It helps you to separate, I guess, that analyzing mind, separate the ego from yourself just a little bit to help kind of wrap your head around where everything is.
Yeah.
I do think that that's something that originally in shamanic cultures that were taught through us through psychedelics and the use of these substances that we find naturally in nature, like, plants that grow and mushrooms and things that are normal and things that aren't, artificially created. Those tend to have weird side effects.
Yeah.
And I think we should go back to that. There was something there to be learned.
Yeah, I mean, in control.
In control, yeah. I'm not saying it's for everyone.
Right.
And because there are some things, I don't think psychedelics should be taken by anyone lightly. It's something I don't think also should be taken recreationally at parties or anything like that, which may even be against the grain of popular belief. I think that they should be taken in large quantities once. So to really get an effect, like to really experience whatever it is that it's trying to teach you or trying to show you, at least once, and maybe even once every year or two, but not like, all the time, every time.
Okay.
Just to sort of help clear your head of all the shit that kind of gets piled up in there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Right.
It's one thing to know these things and to think about them. It's a completely other thing to have them internalized and experience them through synesthesia. So experience them through being able to see colors that also are emotions and just experiencing that. And also the warm, comforting, loving embrace of the universe. It is a completely bizarre experience that absolutely changed me 100%. To the point where I'm still discovering things that it taught me. I'd say even up as close as 2 to 3 last weeks ago. And it's been a good long while.
Yeah.
But I'm still mulling over my experience and digesting bits and pieces. Because after you've taken it, it's not something you can absorb in a single session of sitting there.
I mean, I think everybody, honestly, is just slowly evolving. Even your brain every day almost is still evolving, and that makes sense.
Oh yeah, we're totally evolving.
Yeah,
like that never stops.
Yeah.
I don't think that there are some people that theorize that we've stopped evolving. I think in some ways, yes, we're still evolving in mental ways and more social ways, and just in a different direction.
I think it's funny. It's like, people are just like, "Oh, evolution doesn't exist. It's bullshit. We have dogs. Look at these dogs.
Look at dogs.
You've got one that's the size of a
teacup.
A teacup, yeah.
Literally.
Another one that is the size of a horse, and
evolution's a lie that the devil made up. And don't forget, he also put them dinosaur bones down there just to confuse the fuck out of you.
This is how you get dinosaurs.
Yeah, you want dinosaurs, dude?
That was the best.
Come on, did that not need to be said?
Yes.
That needed to be said.
That needed to be said.
So if you don't know, there were these dinosaur legs that they put on chickens. They didn't put them on chickens. They grew them on chickens in eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you get dinosaurs. That's fucking crazy. They're making dinosaurs. It's Jurassic Park, people.
Hopefully not Jurassic Park, but
well, we're dumb enough. We'd do it. If we had the technology, somebody would try it. They'd have to make a law against it.
Somebody would do it, yes, you're right. And those people probably need to be thrown in jail, but...
Well, I don't know. I don't know that necessarily... It depends. What damage does their creation cause? And not necessarily... I think there needs to be a smart people prison. I think they should have smart people prison.
What does that mean?
Like, all right, so eventually if we get to the point where we got people that are making dinosaurs,
yeah,
they get sent to smart people prison, where they do something productive and supervised, so they're not making dinosaurs, or if they're so they need to work in a biological engineering lab. So that's a good and valuable skill. That person has intelligence and can obviously is capable of doing something, but they should work. They obviously need to be supervised,
right?
But they should, but that talent shouldn't necessarily be squandered.
So there was a guy. You basically talking about people that do scientific things without permission.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a guy actually. He recently did a head transplant on a monkey.
Really?
Yeah. And
not aware of that one.
Yeah, he pulled it off his monkey and put it on the other monkey's body. It died.
Of course.
But apparently it could still emote and everything. It had a lot of trouble controlling its body, and I don't think it did too much. It might have moved its fingers or something, but he ended up dying. But the fact that they were able to head transplant something was
terrifying. Fucking terrifying is what that is, Daniel.
Yeah.
Or is it exciting?
It's exciting.
One day you can have your head transplanted onto
A robot?
A robot.
I want to be a robot.
I want to be a robot. I'm like, I keep bitching about this arm. It's like, man, I wish I was like, 50 years in the future. I could just take this piece of shit off, put on a robot arm, and be fucking RoboCop. I mean, come on.
Watching the transhuman podcast that you had made me go and download Deus Ex and start playing it.
Yeah, I started playing again.
So
Is it not just a great idea?
It's awesome.
Come on. How awesome would that be? And the idea, there's one idea in Deus Ex, the idea that the human body would just reject the implant. Why? Why would it? They'd have no reason to. I don't know. I couldn't think of a reason.
Well, it's just a foreign
Maybe.
object.
I mean, like I said, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I don't fucking know. You're right. It's just a foreign object. So worse, to calcify it, I think is what our body tries to do to foreign objects it can't get rid of.
Yeah. I think so.
I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can only speculate. But still, I don't want a broken arm. I want a new robotic arm. Luke Skywalker, give me his arm. Like that.
Did you like that new Star Wars movie?
It was good. They didn't take it too far over the top. I enjoyed it for what it was. Did not expect anything more. And I think it reintroduced the characters. It got its job done. I think was its purpose, and it did that.
I liked it. I didn't like the fact that it was the same storyline as the first one.
Well, that's what they were trying to throw back to. It also had iconic scenes from all the original trilogy.
I get that
they blew up a Death Star. Come on, man.
I get that was their purpose.
Yeah.
I just don't think all the Star Wars fans wanted to sit down and watch the damn.
I know, a filler movie. That's what it was. But you also have to think there's a lot more people on the planet than when it was originally created.
You are right.
People that haven't seen Star Wars and people that they're trying to pull into the fandom.
You're right.
And Disney is all about those franchises. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build a franchise.
Okay.
So there will be some appeal in the next one. I think this one is introduction and a little bit of fan service. The next one, much more fan service, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I want that movie to jack me off. Is what I'm saying.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's an hour and 13 minutes. You got things to do. Fantastic. Just a second. I'm check the phone.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
That's a good idea. Bathrooms on the end of the hall.
So you think a lot of like the four atheists of the apocalypse? Those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Harris, Hitchens.
I love me some Hitchens.
Dawkins. And
the Hitch slap for the win.
I don't know the fourth one.
Hitchens, Dawkins, Sam Harris. I don't know. Google it if you don't know. I don't know.
How much you want to bet those dudes did some crazy ass?
Oh, I'm positive.
Drugs.
I'm positive they did.
They had to.
Of course. Well, I don't know. Maybe not, but maybe because they are. At least I know Dawkins is an expert in his field, in biology, and maybe him just looking at the biology of everything, he just kind of goes, "No, that's just sort of how it is." I can see that being a logical leap, but
I think that
the likelihood of them having done some psychedelic probably makes a good bit of sense.
Right.
Because when it came to the end of religion for me, like in all religion, just the complete acceptance that it's all bullshit. That's when I started looking for something that was real and like that, and which is when I found psychedelics. So it's entirely possible that they've been there.
That's true. Religions probably did arise from, I don't know, people trying to control people then.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of theories that the original religions, or at least a lot of them, are based off of psychedelic experiences. Christianity was said to have one time been a mushroom cult. So it's quite possible that psychedelics led to that, but it's bastardization into something that is used to control people.
Yeah,
I think it's something that is more of a modern invention. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think that there are genuinely good efforts inside of these organizations. But ultimately, I think they need to expand their worldview a little bit.
Yeah. They've forgotten what spirituality actually means.
Yeah, they forgot where it came from.
Right.
And the problem with the Bible is it's made up of a bunch of different books and a bunch of different writings all put together in one book. So where you have places that say, kill all these motherfuckers, but also love everyone at the same time.
Right.
Ridiculous shit. That's why you get stuff that in the Bible that's like that.
That's how you get jihad.
Yeah, exactly. That's how
Speaking
you get
of
jihad.
which,
Exactly.
I need to go fill out some paperwork for ISIS.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Now you're on a list, Daniel. Thank you. And this podcast is on a list. To be honest, if we weren't already, I'm doing something wrong.
Guess what? Everybody's on the list.
That's true.
You have a license, you're on a list.
I think what you have to realize, I think it was your dad that was paranoid one time. That somebody had hacked into his computer. And he wanted me to take a look at it. And he was paranoid that somebody hacked in and they were doing something. And I had to explain to him, I was like, dude, you're not that interesting.
You're not.
No one's that interesting.
No one cares that much about you.
There are very, very few people who are that interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, when people get your personal information, typically they don't get an individual person's personal information. They buy a bulk. They buy like a collection of information that's been compromised from some database or some company that houses it. That's typically where they get your personal information. They also get it through, malware on your computer and stuff like that. But them hacking in, no, all of that's automated. They don't give a shit.
The only thing you should be worried about people getting is your money.
Even then, it's a series of numbers.
Well,
so
people use it to live off of as well.
Oh, I agree. I had somebody. Let me see. I've had my credit card taken or debit card taken, and it only lost about $300, but it was inconvenient. The bank refunded everything.
Yeah,
like the banks are insured against it, so I get it. It's just, I don't know. When you have the idea that everything's made up, it don't matter. What harm is really being done there? You're hurting insurance companies, and
yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know. Kind of fuck them. They're nice when they're on your side, but I don't know. Maybe that's the reason everything's so expensive is because of the insurance. Then again, money's made up, and none of that shit matters. Ha ha!
Yeah.
Yeah, so I say I've lost favor with video games. I take that back. I've just found interest in games that are just weird, like space exploration and shit like that.
I kind of want to go back and play Spore.
Yeah, I like Spore. At least I think they could have done more. They could have done better. I loved the idea. The premise for Spore was amazing.
Yeah,
and I like the first half of the game. That's really good.
When you're amoeba,
evolving, yeah, you're turning into an amoeba, and you gotta evolve yourself by consuming others. Or yeah, it's so good. I just love that idea.
That's pretty cool. That was a good game.
It was a very good game.
I need to go back and play it. That was like the only video though I have uploaded to YouTube. I don't have like a channel or anything. I don't think you have to pay for that, right?
No.
Oh, well.
I pay for yes, out of my pocket. I make no money with this channel right now.
No money.
None at all.
Send him all the money.
Send me money.
Send him money. This is your daily. What is?
Well, here's the thing. After a point, imagine I have very limited time and resources to do this show. So imagine if I had all the time to do this show. In order for me to have all the time to do this show, I have to stop doing things like sitting in a little box 8 hours a day and getting paid to do that. So as soon as the show is able to support me doing nothing but the show, I'm just going to do nothing but the show. This will be my job now. That'll be wonderful because I'll get to bring all nice, juicy content to you people.
This is your daily subliminal message.
Yes. Yes.
You should put that at the beginning of the podcast.
I should. I should. This is a subliminal message. Send us money.
Send us money.
Oh, yes. But no, I'm not. I don't want to be like rich or anything. It's just as soon as I get to the point where I can support my family, my kids, and everything, contribute what I need to contribute to my family. This is what I'm going to do.
Well, then, like I said earlier, you realize the happiness comes from inside your body and not like nothing controls that.
Right.
That was when I stopped being sad all the damn time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to be sad anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to go drive around in a truck and see the United States and just
experience something.
That and living off $25K a year is pretty shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do it though. I'll happily do it. I'll do it. I'd do $25K a year if it was doing something I really wanted to do.
Well, that's different. I'm talking like I like my job and I like the people.
The people are key, I think. That's probably why
they keep me coming back.
That's probably a problem. The money keeps me coming back from my job at the moment. But the reason I despise the job so much is probably because of the people.
Oh, really?
You have to be fake. You can't be genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a religious organization.
Yeah.
And if you want to move up, you can't be fake. Or you can't be original. I can't be me in front of these motherfuckers.
Just walk in with a coat and with crosses all over it. Just be like,
I would get shit for that because then I'm taking the piss.
No, I'm Buddy Jesus.
Oh, I see. You want to do Buddy Christ?
Do Buddy Christ.
Oh, dude, I could totally do like a dude Buddy Christ. I could totally do that.
Just go in there, Buddy Christ it up, and you'll get some raises. I guarantee you.
Probably, but I don't know. Even then, I don't know. I don't feel like I can be myself with these people. I don't feel like it can be real.
You can't. No, you can't. You're absolutely right. You cannot.
And I can't stand that. So it's probably where most of my discontent for the job comes from. And it's fine, but also I'd rather just be doing something I actually enjoy, hanging out and talking to people. And if I can do that and also bring interesting ideas and people on the show, I'd love to do that as well.
But you're a traveler, man.
Yeah.
You got your motorcycle.
Also, where do you think I would go with this? Like, do you think I'd be bound to one location?
You're right.
The wife and I have kicked around the idea of getting a hippie bus and rocking out, go during the summers, like build out the bus so we can stay in the bus and go during the summers and just tour the country. And I do shows with interesting people in interesting places, and fucking roll around the country for a while.
That's awesome.
She runs a framing shop in the other half of the house, so close that for a couple months. She doesn't usually do a whole lot. I don't think she gets a whole lot of work during the summer. It's usually around the holidays, so I mean that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
That sounds cool, bro.
Yeah, I am a traveler. Actually, I'm thinking more and more about getting rid of the motorcycle. This is why, primarily, because it's one thing that I enjoy. I've done it primarily with no car for like 9 years, and it's been fun. But I think it's time. I've had the experience. I've gotten everything I wanted out of the experience. But it's cost me everything else I love to do.
Yeah.
I can't play music. I can't do a lot of things just because I've got a busted right arm. Like zipping up my pants for the first week and a half was a chore. That's just not me. I'm not somebody that can be this broken and dependent on other people that way. I'm more independent than that. It's been driving me nuts. So I think it's time. I think it's time to call it on bikes. I don't know. It's still an idea I'm kicking around, and maybe later I'll wind up with another one. But I think I'm done for now.
That's cool. I mean, I don't have the bravery for that personally.
That's another thing. Is that with a family and kids and all that kind of good stuff, it also kind of puts it in perspective for you because like, yeah, this wreck could have been a lot worse, and they kind of depend on me for their livelihoods, really.
And I don't want you leaving too quickly soon.
I know. I'd like to stick around for a bit more, so I think it's time. But I love it. It's an experience like no other. There's nothing Nothing like a bike.
Get your adrenaline going.
It's not even adrenaline. It's
Oh.
a flow state that it gives you.
Okay.
Your adrenaline goes for a while, and in certain situations, it can get you that. You have to be careful not to get hooked on that. That's where you run into the people that are wild and reckless, like another person that we know, who's constantly killing himself.
Wow, that's crazy. He can do that.
Yeah, over and over again. It's amazing.
Isn't he cool?
He's busted. Like he's wrecked a bunch of bikes. He's hurt himself a few times, but just because he drives like an idiot. He can't not be an asshole because he likes that adrenaline rush.
Right.
Whereas what I'm after on a bike is the flow state, the
Gotcha.
feeling of being plugged into the machine so well that you don't even have to think about the actions of, okay, I'm shifting, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. You don't think about those steps.
Right.
The machine becomes an extension of you, and you are super mobile through traffic. There's just a feeling of being, tucked in and leaned down into a turn, and it's amazing. That feeling of that flow state of being just one with the machine is an undescribable, great experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've got to find something that can, I guess, give me that feeling, and I don't know that can. However, I'm willing to give it a go. So I might wind up with another bike one day, but for now, I think it's done.
I mean, that's good that you're moving past it, I think.
I think so too.
I'm glad that you got it out of your system. Because, I mean, again, I don't want you to hurt yourself to the point of
I don't either.
dying or paralyzed or whatever.
Yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah,
I would hate that.
I would hate that too.
Given the opportunity, if I were paralyzed from the neck down, given the opportunity, I'd drive myself into a fucking pool. I don't want to be that kind of burden on somebody. Are you kidding? Not able to wipe my own ass? Fuck you. I'm checking out. I'm done. That's one thing I think my wife doesn't like, is that I do think there will come a time where I'm just going to be like, no, I'm done.
Well, we all get that way eventually.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like to enjoy life as much as I can until I get to that point.
Right.
Where I'm just like falling apart and I can't keep anything up. Either A, I'll be able to put my brain into a fucking robot body. That would be ideal. Or B, we haven't gotten that technology yet, and I just have fallen apart to the point where it's like I'm too much of a burden on other people. At that point, just take me out.
I think it'd be cool if we can get people's consciousness on the internet. I think that would
that'd be brilliant.
That would be the
Have you seen
best.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
No.
Do you have Netflix? No. Damn. Actually, I think it might even be on YouTube.
Blackbeard?
Black Mirror.
Mirror.
Yes.
Okay.
There's an episode, and they cover creating or uploading consciousness into technology.
Right.
Watch that fucking show. It's great. I'm not going to ruin it for you because it's so good. It's so good. Actually, if you're not doing anything else, after this, we might go watch that episode. It is amazing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, man, it's been great talking to you.
Well, thanks.
I know you've got as much shit as you get on Facebook, even from me. I still think you have great ideas, a great head on your shoulders. Your thoughts about the world and the nature of reality are very similar to mine, and it's a very rare thing to find in this state.
Well, I don't throw it around or proclaim it. I keep it.
You have to here. You really do. And that may be the case. There may be lots of people that think like this. We just can't. We just don't know any of them.
So I had an idea. Well, this brings back to the women.
That's fine. That was going to be a primary topic, but like I said, we like to jump around a bit.
I've been wondering, you know how they have these pickup artists essentially writing books and shit about how to attract women.
Of course.
And I've just kind of had an epiphany where, so if free will doesn't exist, then a girl has already decided whether or not she likes you or not, so you don't really even have to impress her. It's kind of stupid.
You don't necessarily have to impress her. I think you just have to make an attempt.
Which is not really that hard.
No, in making an attempt, it's overcoming your own internal defense mechanisms, because you're automatic. Like, as soon as you're like, okay, I'm going to go talk to her, your body automatically builds its defensive. It's already like, okay, the shit's going down. DEFCON 4, red alert. We're going in for the pickup line or whatever it is.
Which I don't do that.
Really?
I think that's stupid.
I think a lot of guys do that, and that's where the difficulty comes.
And that's where they fuck up.
It's exactly where they fuck up. It's just be confident. If she likes you, it'll go well for you. I mean, that's pretty much it. If she doesn't like you, the worst thing that's going to happen, she's going to tell you to fuck off. You fuck off, and that's it. You never have to talk to her again. It's fine.
All pussy is replaceable. Just saying.
It's true. You also have a right hand. I don't, but you do. But I do love my wife very, very much. And also, my wife supports me doing things like this. And spending stupid money on a nice desk.
Maybe if they push that Patreon page, it'll get paid for.
Maybe. Just say it. Donate to the show. Donate to the show. Donate to the show. You know what? If you hate the show and you want to tell me why you're not going to donate to the show, come on the show. Seriously. I'll hook you up with my Skype contact. We'll get on here and we'll do an episode. I would love to hear even just somebody ripping my ideas to shreds. I'm okay with that, but I would ask that before you do, you click the donate button. And you throw, I don't know, a couple bucks my way.
Throw $1.
$1? Okay, I'll do $1. I will let you yell at me for $1. Come on my show and yell at me for $1. And don't think I won't publish it either. I'll totally publish it. I don't give a fuck. If I'm wrong, come tell me I'm wrong and bring some fucking evidence too, because I'm gonna poke and prod your shit too. I'm not just gonna leave it floating out there. I had a guy, a physicist, try to explain to me. He explained the light slit experiment to me. The idea that observing reality creates reality, so we can use our brains to build whatever we want in the world. And he explained to me why that was a bad idea. It made a lot of sense at the time, but trying to explain it to someone else never works. I'm not even going to try. But the light slit experiment that a lot of people use to justify the power of positive thinking, it's complete and total bullshit. Go read some real physics, learn about it. I like the idea. It's cute, but it's not real.
Yeah. At best. At worst, everything's random. So
I think random's a pretty good way of looking at it. I mean, it's not entirely random. We give it some sort of momentum and shape and form, but a lot of it's random. And also the idea that here's a big problem I have with Jess's idea of one big powerful government controlling all the strings. We can't. They're horrible at that now. With the conspiracy theories out there that are like, we're really controlled by some shadow government. I don't think we're that smart. We're a lot dumber than that, and we're basically just a group of people who neither one of us have any idea what the fuck's going on, just trying to make things make sense.
I don't think anybody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. No, not a damn person. No, not one.
The idea, looking at the FBI trying to convince Apple to unlock an iPhone to disable the encryption. If they can't do that, then you really don't have a lot to worry about, folks. They're not that smart.
Yeah, they're as smart as you. More than likely, they're just as smart as you.
Probably. Sometimes less so.
Sometimes less so.
I think more and more the idea of becoming a politician is just a bad idea. And people just don't want to even be involved, or at least...
It's a lot of work, too.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work. I don't know. You probably get away with a lot of shit.
I can get away with a lot of shit now. What do I need a fucking degree in being an asshole for?
That's true. Not only are you an asshole, but you have to get up on in front of people and pretend to be someone you're completely not.
What if that's what they tell you on Politicians Day 101? Just stand up there and be an asshole. Oh, people just want someone to blame.
That might be it. That might be it. I cannot wait for our flamboyant gay president. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be amazing. He's going to be fabulous. I want that to happen. I want a flamboyant gay president.
So you probably know who I'm voting for, right?
Sanders or Sanders.
Right. Okay. So
Vote for Sanders as well.
I sat down at the Cove a few days ago, or weeks or so ago, and Jeff was there. You know Jeff.
Yeah.
And he started talking to me. He's like, "Hey, who are you going to vote for?" I'm like, "I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to politics much because it's fucking Trump and acting like a dick."
I
don't care.
get my politics through comedy shows, which is probably a very bad way to get.
I don't think so.
John Oliver and I used to watch The Daily Show when Jon Stewart was running it.
Yeah.
I found out the new guy, Trevor Noah. I found that he stole jokes from some comedians, so I've stopped watching The Daily Show. So I've been watching John Oliver, HBO, last week tonight. Check him out.
What was I saying? Oh, so I went into the Cove and I sat down with Jeff, and I said, he starts talking to me about who I'm going to vote for. I'm like, I'm probably going to vote for Sanders. Probably. And he says, well, I think you're wrong. You should vote for Hillary. And I'm like, I knew.
She's a corporate shrew.
Right. What? See? Look, I did not want to get into that argument with him. I was just like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about how I don't think she has leadership qualities. I just don't see it.
I don't either.
Instead of sitting there and saying that, I just said, I'm a misogynist. I'm not doing it.
It was easier, wasn't it?
It was so much easier. I don't want to sit there and have this argument about, because he was really trying to sell it to me. He was just like, she's on this and that and X, Y, Z. I'm like,
great.
Her personality does not scream leader to me.
I don't get it either.
So,
at first I was okay with the idea. I was out of, if you remove Sanders from the running, she seems like a decent candidate.
She could do the job.
Yeah. More and more, though, she seems like just a corporate-backed politician, like all the rest of them. And we've had enough of that. We're tired of that. Let's try and change it up a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. Get someone other than knows what the fuck's going on.
At the very least, we need an economist, I think, at this point. An economist and a scientist. And I don't think we should have one person as our leader anymore. How about that shit? Granted, we don't. We have, various branches of government, but everybody looks at the president as a single figurehead. They don't pay very much attention to Congress or the Senate, and when they do, they don't pay attention to voting in local elections to elect those people.
You know what? I think that's just people that don't understand how economics works or how our fucking government works.
That could be it too.
Also, between that and the religion, like I could see you just turning into a giant blob of hatred and
I got into an argument with
shit.
A good buddy of mine about I forget what it was, something along the line, sometime during a government shutdown or something like that. And he was like, well, I don't understand why Obama's letting this happen. It's like, well, it's not really his branch of government. He doesn't really have a say in what they decide. And he's like, well, he could just be able to go in there and say, this is how it's going to be. He's like, yeah, the president don't work that way. It's shared power. This is not a dictatorship that we live in.
Correct.
I'm not sure what you think the president does, but he doesn't do that.
He's not sitting on an iron throne going, you guys die and you guys live. Hey.
So saith the king.
So saith the king, Obama.
Yep.
Woo.
King Obama.
King Obama.
So, all right. So there's a lot of shit Obama did that I've been down for, and there's a lot of shit that he's done that I don't particularly care for. And every time, I'm like, well, he's not necessarily a particularly bad president. He's walked into a shitstorm, and I think he's handled himself pretty well.
He's aged from it.
But of course. And I'm not saying he's up there with his thumb up his ass. But as soon as you say any sort of thing like that, I mean, everything is fucking Obama. Like around here,
thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama, motherfucker. I don't know, but getting in arguments with people trying to explain to them what the president does is exhausting.
You're supposed to learn this in high school.
Yes, this is true. But we're Americans. Come on, man. We're Americans.
Granted, our school did not teach economics very well.
No, they didn't.
Like, I still don't understand.
It was half a semester?
Yeah, I think so.
It was half a semester. No, it was there are 2 semesters in a year. It was a semester.
Yeah.
So you took half of that class one semester, or you took that class one semester and then a different class the other semester, whereas the other classes that you took went year-round.
Right. So, like I'm still kind of confused as to how, we get presidential candidates and like shit like that. Like I understand that it's like
You have to register. I know there's a bunch of money that requires you to register. I know that there are other parties besides R2, but no one pays attention to any of the other parties except for the two. You should vote Vermin Supreme for president, 2016.
Camacho?
No,
Camacho.
Vermin Supreme.
No, we're going to vote for Camacho.
Who's Camacho?
Camacho. Or what is that his name? You never saw Idiocracy?
Oh, okay. So Vermin Supreme is this dude that walks around with a rubber boot on his head. His platform is a pony for every person. Everybody gets a pony. And also, we're going to solve the world's energy crisis with zombies. We're going to feed zombies into this perpetual energy machine that's going to... Yeah, so a zombie-fueled future. Let's ride our ponies into a zombie-fueled future with Vermin Supreme 2016.
Well, first we need to get some zombies.
Hey, he's working on it.
Where are we going to find some zombies?
He was in a debate with this this homophobe guy, politician, and he sprinkled the guy with glitter. He's great. He's wonderful. So he runs. He legitimately runs for president. And he does so in the most ridiculous fashion to just poke fun at the whole fucking system. And it's great. I love it to death.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Korean guy. What's his name?
Silly Party?
No, he's
We have a Korean guy running for president?
Yeah, no, he's currently the leader of Korea.
Oh, Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I'm voting for him.
Yeah, all right. I'm for it. Kim Jong-un as our... It would be a theocracy at that point, right? Religious based? Yeah. That's right.
He kills Godzillas.
He does kill Godzillas. I mean, everybody knows that. If he really wanted the United States wiped off the face of the planet, all he would have to do is just say it, and we would just disappear. We would wink out of existence.
He's too cool for
everything.
For everything.
Yeah, I agree. Kim Jong-un.
So awesome, you were blinded by his awesomeness.
That's true. Very, very true. Those poor fucking people, man. Those poor fucking people. Oh, I'm glad we were born in America, but
yeah, I mean, like I said, living off what I make now is pretty shitty, and I understand that, you know, I'm still making fantastic numbers compared to some of the people in like Africa and shit.
Well, Jess's idea was that our wealth disparity between the top 1% and the bottom in this country is just sort of normalizing from what it is to the rest of the world. And that may be true. I don't know.
It does seem true because as these people evolve from like third world countries to second world countries, the money's going to be coming from somewhere. Which, I mean, we're just basically printing it. We're just ruining our economy. Like, no, but it's a made up number. At the end of the day, money is a made up number.
It doesn't mean anything at all, Ted. It's just
it used to represent gold and trade.
It did used to represent gold. I think now it's supposed to be a measurement of our work. I don't know, because even that doesn't make sense. Because now I used to work more at a lower position for a lower pay. I used to do a lot more, and now I sit in a lot of meetings and advise for a lot more pay. And it's like, okay, I did less work and got paid less.
Right.
All right, I do less work now and get paid more. I did less work, or I do more work then and get paid less. So that doesn't even seem to correlate.
Right. And now I'm like, I want to make enough money to at least support myself, and then if a girl shows up at some point in the future, I decide to take care of her more or less.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or do you think it's the duty for the man to take care of the woman?
I think gender roles are important.
They are.
I'm not saying that she can't work if she don't want to.
All right.
I'm fine with that.
I get it.
But I'm going to be honest, I can't cook at all.
You can cook. Well,
I can cook eggs and bacon. Like,
here's my problem with feminist is I'm I just want the woman's wife, the woman's right to choose. That's fine, which they have.
Oh, that's fine too. I don't care
Yeah,
about that.
they can either work or they can be a stay at home mom, and that's fine. But most feminists would shit all over the stay at home mom or stay at home woman, even like the cooks and cleans all day. They would give her shit because well, that's it's downgrading to women. And I disagree. I think in having a household, there are some things that need to be done.
Well, she needs
chores and things like that. And if you're providing all the financial side of things, she can't take care of the house.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Or even if you reverse that, even if it was a woman in a high powered job who got paid well and she had a husband that stayed home, he should take care of the house. He should know how to cook and clean.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that being other way around.
I'm going to say something very politically incorrect.
That's fine.
On this show. Can you believe it?
My God.
I abhor the thought of marriage. Like,
you should. As a male in this country, you should.
Yes.
We get fucked. I don't blame you. There's a lot of guys who look at that, and in divorce and everything, we get fucked. Marriage is just a bad idea for a man in this country.
Right.
Not from a sharing a partnership with someone through your life idea, but from just a legal standpoint.
From a legal standpoint, it is a bad choice. Now, I'm glad that we finally got the gay marriages rolling through. So hopefully that'll open up the laws, I guess.
I think so.
A bit. Where it might not be such a bad deal.
Well, it shouldn't. I think it should even out. And I think eventually that's where we're going. But the problem is government's slow, and a lot of our laws are based on old shit that we used to believe.
Yeah. Hell, before now, we didn't even have governments.
That's true. Well, you did.
We were just a collecting of bunch of monkeys sitting around in a tribe listening to the hookah smoker over there.
Still had the alpha. No, the alpha listened to the hookah smoker. And the hookah smoker didn't actually live in the camp usually. He lived outside of the camp. And you would go see him if you needed help.
I don't buy that the alpha is really real. I think people other people decide that he is the alpha.
I think that there's an argument against that. At a certain point in time, the biggest, strongest male probably got his way. But then again, I do think he was much more cooperative with the people in his tribe. He wasn't a dick that just lived with you because he said he could. He genuinely provided for his collective, his community. He brought home meat. He was a good hunter. He fought off, invading people from stealing the women. Like, I don't think that he was just this big dick. Like, I don't think.
No, he wasn't, because the people decided that they didn't decide. Nature decided for him.
Right.
That
he had the genetic advantage.
Right. He had the genetic advantage.
But he used it to take care of, he didn't use it to bully people. I don't feel. In a society that would have worked because you could still outnumber him. You can still take his ass out.
Right, exactly. And that's how it is in nature.
Right.
I read a Zootopia article about the movie and stuff, and how they went out and they watched animals before they created the the pixels for them. Animation. And they said that nature. You'd have these watering holes, and all of the giraffes and the gazelles and everything would come up into this water hole and start drinking. And here comes a lion, and neither of them ran away or ran after each other. The lion would just walk up, drink, and then walk away. And the guys are watching this, and they said, "Why is that?" And he says, "Well, actually, the predators are only like 10%, and the prey makes up the majority."
Right. They could run them off if they really wanted to.
Well, if they could get their brains together, but I doubt that would ever happen. But still, it's everything's in balance.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it has to be. In nature, it absolutely has to be. And the only reason we aren't as a species is because we have technology. We figured out ways around it. Because otherwise, we're squishy, and bears eat us quite easily.
Fuck bears. I love telling that.
Actually, you probably don't want to fuck bears. That's probably a bad idea. You can have a bad day. You can try.
The girls at work, they if a spider shows up, It is the worst day on the planet.
See,
Come and kill it, please, somebody. And
I'm more
like,
scared of spiders than I am bears.
I'm more scared of bears.
See, spiders, because the damage that they can do to you, and they're small and they're relatively easy to miss. Bears, you kind of see a bear coming.
I don't know.
And there are things you can do to avoid bears.
I've never been scared of things that are smaller than me, I guess.
Makes sense. Like, I'm not scared of them. Like, if I see them, I'm going to freak out. I mean, just hit it with a shoe. I mean, I'm not scared of it in the essence that'll make me leave.
They're also not malicious. Like,
right. They're not malicious.
looking to come and bite you so your arm will fall off.
Right.
But a
and
bear
bears don't kill you either.
Oh, they don't?
Well, they do kill you, but I mean, most apex predators, like, that's what they do. Like big cats, they go for your neck. They snap your neck. They kill you quickly. Most predators like that kill prey that's where their primary source of food comes from. They kill quickly. Bears do not, because bears, they eat lots of things. So they chew on you for a while. So a bear attack is far more gruesome because they could leave you alive, but you're going to be fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, listen to some counts of bear attacks, man. That shit is... You thought you didn't like bears before, buddy. Yeah.
I don't like bears, man. I don't. It's like you run into that, you walk around in the forest and hear something that is bigger than you. I mean,
By a lot.
I'm a big guy, so something bigger than me, I don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
And I can understand how people would not want to, they would assume the worst of you and be afraid of you if you're bigger than they are.
Well, most black bears, you're fine. They're more afraid of you than anything. They're going to try and avoid you. As long as you don't sneak up on them when they've got cubs. Most black bears, attacks happen, but they're a bit more skittish.
Yeah.
Grizzlies are a bit less so. And especially if they have cubs, they will fuck you up in a heartbeat. They don't give a shit. And also, they're a pain in the ass to kill. From what I've heard, there was a story I read about a guy who was hiking with a bunch of friends, and he had a 45 pistol with him. And somehow or another, they walked up on the bear. It was a mom and cubs, and they emptied like 2 cans of bear spray on this thing. It didn't do nothing. He said at one point in time, the bear's like chewing on his leg, so he pulled out his pistol, stuck it to the top of the bear's head, and just pulled the trigger until when he clicked, the bear still kept going. But didn't give a fuck.
Wow.
Yeah. Grizzlies will fuck you up. That's terrifying to me. So I wouldn't want to come up across a bear, but the attacks are also really rare. I'm not sure about lightning statistics. You definitely have a better chance of getting hit by lightning than you bit by a shark. Bears, probably a little bit more common.
Yeah. Fucked up, bro.
Yeah. Don't play with bears.
I thought you were going to tell me I'll play with this microphone.
Just don't break the microphone. That's all I ask.
Smash!
I would be very, very upset.
Smash.
It took me forever to get the money to put this particular setup together. Anyway, guys, we're going to peace the fuck out of here. You want to go watch Black Mirror after this?
Sure.
I highly recommend it. Thank you guys for sticking around. Once more with your subliminal message, donate to the fucking channel. Or if you don't want to donate and you just want to leave a comment, that's fine too. I'll accept that.
Your Master Cthulhu commands it.
If you're fucking broke like I always am, and you need, you don't have $1 or $2 to send me, it's fine. Just leave me a comment, a like, whatever. Help us out.
Give this man some money.
Anyway, guys, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.